Hey gang, Ross Brand here for LivestreamUniverse.com. This is Livestream Stars. Thanks to everybody for hanging with us. We are finally able to do the interview with Tim Buchler of Busker. So happy to have him join us. Tim's going to be at Summit Live next week. Busker is one of the sponsors. He's also going to be on a panel or doing some speaking as well, and a big part of the event, helping people learn how to monetize their live streams, which is what one of the things that you can do with Busker. And Tamir, let me give you the bio real quick. We're going to try to roll through as quickly as possible. Tamir is the co-founder and COO of Busker, the only interactive live streaming platform with commerce and real cash tipping. Buchler focuses on establishing commercial partnerships with retailers, publishers, marketing outreach, talent acquisition, and community development efforts. He has an extensive background in e-commerce and online marketing, strategic business developments, and business operations. Prior to joining Busker, Buchler served as the CEO of the Happy Cloud COO and CRO at Pronto.com and was director of strategic business development at Price Grabber. So, Tamir, first of all, it's great to have you on, and we didn't connect the first time, but thanks for rescheduling, and we're gonna do this, and hopefully people will join us, and we'd love your questions over the next half an hour. Let me start by asking you, you've got a lot of experience, obviously, with startups and business development in different areas. What do you like? What brought you to decide to get involved with Busker?
Two things. One, well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it. Yeah. Sorry about what happened earlier. Just a little bit of a mishap on my side, timing wise. So two things that brought me here. One, first and foremost, being the team and the group of folks that we work with, or I'm working with here, and a core group of the founders hail from a company called Price Grabber. Where most of us work together for a good long stretch. So the opportunity to come back and do something with a team and a group of folks who I'm very close to, and who we had some pretty good success together, that was a big draw for me. The second thing is interactive live streaming, being as hot of a topic as anything, was super intriguing for me, and the idea of figuring out a way to help people monetize live streams and leveraging commerce and shopping to do so was also just really a big appeal, especially given our backgrounds in e-commerce. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, before we get to the basics about the app and kind of introduce it to people, we hear a lot of people have talked about the possibility of monetizing, and Busker is giving people that opportunity. Just in general, what have you noticed? Have you noticed sort of a common theme or a common path that people who've been successful in monetizing live streams have taken, or are there many ways to get to that to get to that point?
I mean, we're still figuring it out. I think there are many ways to get to that point. We're equipping broadcasters and influencers with as many tools as possible to achieve that end. It's early on, it was one of those things where you saw folks come over and say, hey, it's kind of awkward. I don't really want to ask for money. I don't really want to ask for support. But on the other hand, on Periscope or wherever else they were doing things, they would put their PayPal address in their profile. So getting over that hump was really sort of step one for us. When we launched the app, we launched with support and the tipping function only. We actually launched commerce only in October. So the first step for us is there an appetite for both broadcasters and viewers to engage and to support one another via tips, right?
Right.
And we learned pretty quickly that there absolutely was, right? Once you kind of got over that hump of hey, we're not asking for money, we're just doing the things that we normally do. We're entertaining, we're providing you with guidance, we're giving you advice. We're doing great stuff over live, and you as a viewer and as a supporter, you're going to continue to support me. I'm going to continue to do more. Once we got people over that hump, it became very clear that, okay, this works, this makes sense. And for us, it's about creating a better environment, more features to support that end, to help creators do just more with the platform.
We're talking with Tamir Buchler, the co-founder and COO of Busker app. It's a live streaming app that's been around for almost a year now and gives live streamers the ability to monetize. So with the live commerce feature, for those who may not be familiar with it, there's a lot of different things people could do with that, right? I mean, they could sell real products, right, while they're broadcasting. People can purchase. Actually, how do they... Absolutely. How does that work in terms of, like, how does the broadcaster kind of set that up? How does the viewer go ahead and purchase something that they see that they like?
So commerce on Busker is native to the broadcast experience, meaning you never leave the broadcast at any point in time. You're not redirected outside of the app to complete a purchase. We have a partnership with Stripe where broadcasters can create a Stripe account if they don't already have one, set up essentially, inventory or products on their Stripe store and connect their Stripe store to Busker, at which point when they go live, once all of that stuff has been set up and approved on our side, once the broadcaster goes live or just before they go live, they can select which products that they want to include in their broadcast. When you go live and viewers are watching you do what you do and decide that they want to purchase something, you have sort of three functions that happen in the app inside of the B menu. You click the Busker B, you have the opportunity to like, you have the opportunity to support in a number of denominations, and then you have an opportunity to purchase if the seller or the buy option is available and the broadcaster actually linked the product to the broadcast. As a buyer or a viewer who wants to buy product, you would put in your credit card information and your shipping information and billing information just one time. We store it for you for future purchases. And from that point on, it's just sort of a two-tap buying experience. And then it's just sort of the general fulfillment sort of stuff that happens between, a buyer and a seller via, that we facilitate through the app, and that the seller will facilitate and manage through their Stripe account.
So for the broadcaster, you're making that decision. You're hitting that the Busker, the B button in the lower right corner as soon as you get. Before you start the broadcast, you're making.
You're doing that on the pre-broadcast screens.
Right.
Before you go live.
Yeah. And then the viewer can choose at any time during the broadcast, obviously, to go ahead, or can they even choose during a replay? Can they go ahead and purchase? Okay.
Yeah. So as long as there's inventory available, and that's really just dependent on how the broadcaster sets up his or her products.
Right. And now, do they go into like another interface, or is it just they've got their information in there? If they choose to buy, it's a click of a button and confirmation or whatever, and you're done.
That's it. So once you tap on the shopping icon in a live stream, you'll see a window slide up, cover up at least half of the screen, where you can check out what product's being sold, decide if you want to buy it. Again, if you've already inserted your credit card, billing, and shipping info, then it's just a one-tap buying experience, and then a notification will flow through on the live screen on a chat. And it'll say that so and so purchased a product, and that's the flow.
What are some of the products that people have been able to successfully monetize so far?
So we see artists selling art. We've seen fitness instructors sell diet plans. I think the range is wide open. There's been a lot of folks set up stores and successfully sell product. We actually, since the beginning of February, started our own shopping network, where we brought a few influencers in-house. We have a small studio here, and we are actually selling a wide range of products to our audience 5 days a week in the month of Feb. And we sold everything from a wine opener to a backpack to a handheld steamer. I mean, you could essentially sell anything you want on the app.
And is that your business plan? Do you share in the revenue that the broadcaster brings in? Is that how you do it, or is there another way, or do you charge some type of subscription in order to sell? How does that work for the people who are selling?
So the app is open. The app is free. Anyone is open to use these functions as they please. We simply take a 15% cut of any transaction that happens through a live stream, whether it's support, tipping, or commerce.
Wow, so that's pretty good. I mean, that's a pretty good deal for people to get on and have a platform like that to pitch and to sell what they have to offer. So you mentioned a lot of artists, a lot of musicians, a lot of people like that. Are they mostly playing for tips, or are they, with say musicians, are they selling downloads or CDs?
Sure.
Or
yeah. Absolutely, a lot of musicians selling their music, either digital or hard copies. We also have an interesting feature, a scheduled broadcast feature. So unlike most other live streaming apps where you go live spontaneously, on Busker you have the option to schedule something well in advance and give yourself the time to go out and promote it and bring an audience in. And what we've noticed with that feature is that it's in a lot of ways forcing people to be more prepared for when they go live. They're essentially building a show concept that can become, multi-episode going forward. You have folks doing cooking shows. We have a very popular lip sync battle that happens on the app. So, and these are coming back weekly, the same day, same time each week. And that's really interesting because it's helping people, again, establish a presence in a more show, tight-knit show format, a little bit outside of what you would expect in a more spontaneous live streaming environment. And it also leads to bigger audiences and more activity in the stream.
And are you seeing that those folks are also setting specific times, like they're doing a 3:30 every day or 4 o'clock every day, so that it is really getting that sort of broadcast schedule and people start to know when and where to find them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we have a comedian. I think she does 2 shows a week, and she's been doing it consistently for like 6 months. Right, same day, same time, and that's the case for a lot of folks on the app.
How did you get into live streaming or become interested in live streaming? Is that something you were doing before you got involved with Busker, or is this kind of a new thing for you?
It's kind of a new thing. So no, I wasn't. My background is in e-commerce, and then I spent a few years running a gaming technology company. So dabbled a bit in sort of the video space, but no, it was just more happenstance than anything. But we're all in now, so.
Right. And where do you see, I mean, do you think that selling is a big part of the future of live streaming? Do you think, in the beginning, it seemed like it was more about like making that connection and then maybe we go offline and do business or something like that. And now you're seeing that the people who really are effectively monetizing it are able to get on and sell or have no hesitation about putting their product or their talent or whatever out there. Where do you see live streaming going, like over the next, 2 or 3 years?
Well, look, I mean, I think we're certainly going to find out. I don't think anyone has cracked that code or really understands it yet. You see a lot of players in the space, and you see a lot of players, focusing their energy and efforts on building sustainable platforms. But I don't think any one of us has quite figured it out. I would say that, we're doing a lot of different things, right, that make us unique, that give broadcasters and viewers alike a reason to come and explore Busker and use Busker. And I think that we're onto something.
Right.
Do I think shopping can be a big part of what we're doing? Absolutely. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be investing the energy and time in it. We know that it works. It's just about how we can scale it in a way that makes sense for people going forward. We're at the very beginning stages of live, right? I think a lot of people don't know that they can use their cell phone, their mobile device to go live at any point in time. We're not even at the tip of the iceberg. So it's early days and we're learning as we go, but we feel really good about where we are as a platform. And as we try to figure out, our own sort of core focus, we're leveraging a lot of, our prior know-how to address areas we think are important for broadcasters and viewers.
And do you see yourself staying with mobile only, or do you see yourself doing like kind of what Periscope did with Periscope Producer, where you give people the opportunity to use software and go live from their desktop and do more produced shows where they can put their own, branding and graphics and things like that?
So two parts to that question. One, we believe in web, so we think there is a web experience, a desktop experience, and a mobile web experience that can thrive in live. So we're already kind of working on that to some degree. And then sort of when you talk about the producer angle, it's interesting. Yeah, I think there's something there. I think it takes a little bit away from the rawness of a live stream. I think that when you are sitting in a studio and you've got multiple cameras sort of going in and out and throwing layered graphics on top of streams, it can be done in a way that's raw, a la Snapchat, by using filters. But it can also come off as perhaps a bit studio-ish. So it just remains to be seen. Yeah, we're going to experiment with that and kind of figure out what we think works.
Yeah, I mean, I think you want a balance between it looking like just replicating what you have on TV to where people don't even feel like they should interrupt it by chatting, right?
Exactly.
And then probably if people are trying to do business, you might not want to have some of the silly elements of Snapchat, or maybe you do. Maybe that does sell,
Yeah, and we've experimented with that. We have, as I said, this live shopping show every night at 5 p.m. Pacific. And we started off kind of with this very kind of QVC-ish format. And very quickly we understood that there was an audience there and people wanted to interact and talk. And the hosts are sort of pseudo famous on the platform, and you have their audience that wants to interact. So then we turned it into more of a, hey, come do what we're doing with us. We're going to entertain you, and we're going to sell you product at the same time. And we're finding that works. So you can't really run away from or abandon the core element of live, which is interactivity.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely what makes it different from TV, and what TV really hasn't figured out how to do yet, which is, make it a sort of a participatory broadcast rather than just pushing something out. I want to say a quick hello to Kevin Black, Nick Rishway, and Carlos Phoenix is here, Friar Wade, and Alfredo Tagolo, and everybody else. Thank you so much for joining us. Do please share this out if you have any questions for Tamir about using Busker, about monetizing your broadcasts. Please do throw them in the chat, and we'll pass those along right away. Barb Tomlin is here as well. Hey, Barb, says great approach for monetization, which it definitely is. What percentage of users, if you have the data, would you say are right now actually monetizing or even trying to monetize? And then, probably a lot are still doing sort of, more communication than selling, right?
I mean, honestly, 100% of our users have an opportunity to monetize, right?
Right.
So I think that's the better way to phrase it. Anyone who goes live can generate support via tips and can sell something once their store has been approved. So, I mean, that's the reality. And we see a lot of support activity on a month-to-month basis. Those numbers are growing. And we see lots of people selling product or attempting to sell product and experimenting with different ways to sell product in the app. So a big percentage, without being too specific, of our users are taking advantage of those features.
Right. I'm sure I'm not the only one who goes live without trying to sell anything so far. I'm not saying I'm not going to, but so far,
well, look,
it's
again,
I
mean, selling is one thing, but again, just we don't take the tip option away.
Right.
Is what you can turn on and off. We have a pretty big chunk of users who have set up stores. I'd have to look at the data to understand what percentage of their streams they actually sell on, but quite a few.
That's pretty impressive. Kevin Black asks, how can we become involved in the shopping night? Sounds like a great way to get one's training to sell live.
Well, I mean, you can create an account, create a store, and sell on your own. If you mean getting involved with us on our own show, I guess I'd have to better understand what you do and frozen. Can you restart the router? I'm back now.
Okay, here we go. Yeah,
sorry.
we're back.
Wasn't sure what that was. All right.
Hey, Wagner. Hey, Sabrina. So yeah, the question was about how people can get involved, or are you enabling other people to get involved in your selling or your studio broadcast?
We're just in a very much experimental phase with our show specifically. But I always tell people, who reach out and ask about how, hey, what do you think about this show idea? Or how could, what do you think? Just do it. The platform is there for a reason. I'm happy to help people get set up. But what we like to see is users leverage the platform and show promise and put effort behind it. And then, if there's an opportunity for us to work together, we'll certainly do that. I mean, some great examples of some folks who adopted the platform from day one. I mean, there was no one on the app at the beginning, and today you see folks who've got thousands of followers and who, get lots of people in their streams, concurrent, in replay, whatever it is, and they do a lot. We have people making a living on the app. So it's just a matter of putting the effort into it. And if there's an opportunity for us to do something together, obviously we can figure that out.
This is Livestream Stars, easy for me to say, the show where we feature talented broadcasters and app creators delivering high-quality content across live stream platforms. And if you want to learn more about us, go to Livestream Universe, livestreamuniverse.com. Barb Tomlin and Friar Wade have both asked about desktop, which you covered already, and they do believe in the web experience, and so there may be something coming in the future which will let you broadcast from a desktop or a laptop computer. Let's talk quickly about Summit Live. You're going to be speaking there, and you guys are also a sponsor. What is it about Summit Live that made you guys decide to get involved with that?
Well, first and foremost, they're hosting the event in our backyard, so kind of hard to ignore that. Right. A lot of the folks that use our app in terms of influential broadcasters are going to be there, so it's a great opportunity for us to interface with them. And we know the folks who are throwing the event, and so to help them and to help us really get exposure and be a part of something that we think can be beneficial to the space and to us, it was important for us to be there. So.
What other aspects of the app? You talked about monetization, the ability to schedule, are some of the things that really make it stand out versus competitors. What other aspects of the app that people who are new to it or haven't used it yet might find out that, okay, this is a little bit different than what they're used to experiencing?
Well, a lot of people have very nice things to say about the cleanliness of the broadcast experience. It's not cluttered. The video quality is generally very clear. We always get a lot of feedback that our video quality is sort of top notch. Hey Sabrina, I know Sabrina. Yeah, I mean, I think the general experience is very different than most other apps. I mean, the way we structure our feeds, the fact that we're featuring people and sort of labeling sort of top 5 influencers in a specific category. The community is really tight. You're going to find on our app that there are very little trolls. So that hasn't really been a major issue for us as of yet. I know we're small, but we've put some things in place to kind of protect ourselves against that outcome. And yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely sort of a different experience and a see for yourself kind of response is really what I'll say, right?
Yeah. So Barb Tomlin asks, is Busker sponsoring a hospitality suite during Summit Live?
We're going to have a booth that should be quite active at Summit Live, so you're welcome to come by. We're also having an event on Thursday the 23rd at night. You can follow us on Instagram. It's busker.co, and in our profile there's a link to the event where you can sign up and attend. Space is limited, so if you want to join, by all means, go for it. But yeah, we're going to have a bit of a party.
Yes, I signed up for that. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Cool.
Wagner asks, we sort of touched upon the future, but we didn't necessarily get into the monetization, and I think it's You mentioned sort of a wait and see, but I'll throw it out there again anyway for people who are just joining. What does the future hold for monetization and live streaming? That's from Wagner dos Santos, the host of Wagner Live Insights, every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern.
I mean, I think for me that is the key to the success of the space. I mean, if you think about how YouTube became YouTube, it was all about monetization in the end for YouTube, and a lot of budding stars on YouTube are sort of leveraging the platform for that end, right? So we feel very much the same about monetization, which is why it's something we didn't want to ignore, and we put a lot of energy behind at the forefront. And whether it's going to be shopping that leads it, or support, or something else that comes along, we certainly believe it's an important component to people's lives. Let's face it, people are spending lots of hours in live streams, and some people are devoting their lives to it. So you got a following, and if there's a way for you to earn a living off of that following, like most people do, influencers and on other platforms, I think live is no different.
Right. In the time we have left, what do you see as the next thing you're going to roll out for the platform? Is there anything you can talk about it? Anything new coming down the pike that we should be looking for?
Oh man, the development pipeline is just stacked. There's so many cool things that we're working on, or that we've talked about and we know is coming through. One big thing is going to be a change to the way the feed looks. We're going to be upgrading it and incorporating a lot more focus towards some of the scheduled show content. So you're going to get a real kind of experience that leverages almost a network feel, but of course comprised of live streams. Picture in picture is something that we're looking at. As I said, desktop. There's a whole host of things that we're pumping out. I mean, we've only been up for 10 months, and if I showed you a screenshot or gave you a quick video tutorial of what the app looked like day one to where it looks now, I think you'd find that we're making quite a bit of progress. So that's not going to change.
Hold on a minute. I heard picture in picture. Are you talking like one day we could do this interview on Busker?
Oh yeah, definitely. Sooner rather than later, I think. Yeah, that's something that we're very eager to get out.
And without needing a whole bunch of production software and things like that? Like two people from mobile phones, or
Yeah. So you'll be able to just tap into someone in the audience, and bring them into the stream. So,
yeah. Wagner asks, how did Busker succeed in cultivating such a thriving community-driven app when platforms like Blab failed?
We were a little fortunate with our timing, I think, and it was not something that we meant to do. But hey, we launched, I think, around the same week that Meerkat decided to pivot. And so you had a lot of Meerkatters who were kind of like, okay, where are we going to go next? It was also a time where it seemed like there were a bunch of folks on Periscope who were discontent for whatever reason, with the platform, and were looking to experiment elsewhere. So I think the first week we had just a massive influx of some core key broadcasters from both platforms, and a big number of them stuck. And it's same faces, wanting to hang out and be in the same place, and being a part of something from the ground up was really important. We have prided ourselves on being in tune with the community. We do a Q&A, which is part of why I missed the call earlier today. We do a weekly Q&A on Fridays, midday, that usually lasts about an hour, where we sit down and talk to our community and address upcoming features and take questions, and really, we're constantly in tune with what's going on. I mean, I talk to so many users on a weekly basis. I probably, I can't keep track myself. So for us, that's a big part of it also, is just being a part of the community. And anyone you talk to who uses Busker will tell you that, right? We're just really in tune with what they want and what they're doing, and we try to keep people happy.
I am so excited about the picture-in-picture possibilities, because I haven't really thought about monetizing through tips or anything like that, but wow, to be able to do interviews and sell products, have guests come on, like if you had written a book and you could come on and you could actually like sell the book while I'm interviewing you or whatever, that would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a perfect example. Someone like a guy like Joel Comm, who does, his thing. I mean, to be able to sell his book, there's endless opportunities for commerce.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And do you see giving people the ability, like you mentioned the web experience, do you see like giving people that ability to use something like OBS or Wirecast as well for interviews? Or do you think you're going to keep it native to the app, even if it's native to a web experience of the app?
I mean, we're looking at a number of options. I think for us, the more native the experience, the better.
Right.
We don't want to rely on third-party services where we don't have to. And an interview model is one of many ideas that can work with a picture-in-picture feature, right?
Right.
There's shows on the app that people host with one another from remote locations, and usually they're jumping from one broadcast to the next. So there's plenty of opportunity for us, for folks to leverage that kind of feature. But yeah, I mean, native first, but whenever we need to leverage a third party, we'll do that.
Sounds good. I know you got to run. Thank you so much for making this happen, and I'm really looking forward to hearing you speak at Summit Live and seeing you at the party as well. And just real quick, if people want to reach out to you and learn more about Busker, how can they do that?
You can reach out to us at we have a contact contact at is it contact? I mean, you can get, here's my email, Tamir@busker.co. There's only a few people in here, but I'm sure I'll get an influx of emails as a result. So go ahead.
We could just do the Instagram account, right? They can follow you on Instagram and
reach out to us. So there's plenty of ways to reach out to us. Instagram, contact us through the app. You can email me directly.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks again. The app is Busker. Check it out. Check it out and download it, iOS and Android, right? So either way, you can do that. And it's Tamir Buchler. He's the co-founder and COO of Busker. And we thank you so much for coming on. No broadcast next week, except for those that we do spontaneously from Summit Live. And then we'll be back with our regular broadcast the following week. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Great. Thanks, Ross. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Tamir.